What I need to do too is I need to find my wire. I'm missing a bunch of wire. Internet, what? What? It's back now? Oh, its stream dropped and came back? Yeah, and I just went to go type into chat. And it's like, oh, you want to sign in? I'm like, I already am signed in. What the hell? Whatever. Yeah. And the thing is, like, the laptop didn't show anything. Didn't show any error. Oh, no, it's showing an error now. 2 minutes ago, disconnected. That's weird. Wonder if my Wi-Fi hiccuped. I am looking into how I can actually send video from this computer to my main laptop or my main desktop, so I can potentially do more stable, like, portable live streams again. Part of me wants to actually, like, take all these cameras and strap them to the inside of my car and do a stream like that. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, if my stream ever drops and I didn't say anything, just wait like a minute. It should come back. Like, if my stream drops and I said, "Hey, I'll see you guys later," you know it's because I'm actually leaving. But if I don't say anything, you know something bad happened. Yeah, Streamlabs just now popped it back up, so it's probably gonna. Yeah, it's showing it just restarted. No, like Streamlabs is saying the stream's still been live for 23 minutes. That's really weird. All right, weapon motor's reattached, and it spins. That's real quick something I want to see because these motors sit right here. Oh, that's problematic. Okay, so brushless one is going to have some things done differently. What's nice is these mounts for the weapon, they have this little notch right here, and the way I have the motor currently sitting, the notch is on the wrong side. But the brushless one, it like rubs right here on this side, so I'm gonna have to make sure I put these in the other way, like on the opposite sides. Yeah, it'll make sense later. What I need to do is I need to finish detaping this. I need to detape this motor controller so I can, the Malenki Nano, so I can get to the contact points and resolder the wires. I also need to like twist all these wires out of my way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now we're going to need to be resoldered. Also means I need to plug my soldering iron in and bump my microphone and almost spill my soda. Oh. All right, well, Tim, yeah, hopefully I get this robot up and running. Yeah, I'll see you later, Tim. Definitely will see you Saturday. Apparently, we're going to have a special guest Saturday. I need to find the rest of my wire, too. My soldering iron's heating up. While it's doing that, I had like a spool of wire. I don't know where I put it. No. What I've been doing is I've been cheesing a little bit when it comes to my wiring. We get a lot of these wiring harnesses when we get Vesks at work. We're not going to use these particular, like all these wire harnesses. Like there's some that are just completely unusable for us. And so I take the ones that I know we can't use, and I just use them for my wires. Where did wire strippers go? I bet you anything. I tried after the last event. I tried to consolidate like all my tools and stuff, and that didn't really work out. And it didn't work out in the sense that I never actually finished consolidating all of my tools and everything. I know I got a little help. I have. I told her, I'm like, I need one of those little helping hand tools, and she found one, but it was missing one of the little hands. So I have one end of a helping hand, which is kind of nice. This little tool right here, and I know it's kind of hard to see because I don't have it in the right spot, and I need better light over here, but whatever. There's a little clamping device that I can clamp things to, and it will hold it steady for me while I do my soldering. I have a love-hate relationship with soldering wires. This is by far my favorite wire strippers, though. Does such a quick and clean job. Where's full solder? It's all the way over there. Yeah, so if you're tuning in, we're building a robot for the Vegas Combat Robotics Warsaw Back event coming up this this Saturday, which you can tune into and watch live, Combat Robots. This one that I'm working on right now, over on Twitch at the Syn Shop, SYNSHOP, and Tim, Tape Tag Tim, who left, is actually one of our camera operators for that. This week has been so long, and I'm just so exhausted. I keep thinking that today is Friday, and I'm like, great, I have to hurry up and get this robot built for tomorrow. And it's like, no, I have a full another day. The plan is to get the robot finished tonight. Wow, that did not want to attach properly. The plan is to get the robot finished tonight. Hopefully so I can take it to work tomorrow and do a little bit of testing with it. For this weekend. I'm like taking this wire harness that I have here, and I'm like, I want to separate the blue and the green, specifically the blue and the green. And I keep grabbing the blue and the white, and the blue and the white, and the blue and the white. It's like, no, I'm specifically trying to grab the blue and the green. I'm specifically using these wire harnesses because these wires are really thin and lightweight. And because they're thin, I can fit them in the robot so much easier. And this is actually me color coding the wires for my robot. And so what I'm doing is I'm using black and red for the left side and green and blue for the right side. I will admit, I work on robots all day at work, and I'm low-key tired of working on robots. Just real quickly, I should post this link at a couple more places. But it's like, no, I work on robots all day at work, so I'm kind of tired of working on robot, and then I come to home, and what do I do when I come home? I work on robot. One of these days, I will get a new soldering iron. The one I have now is my freaking workhorse of a soldering iron. It has gotten me through so much, and it continues to get me through so much. But this thing is showing its age. I mean, the company that made it went out of business years ago. It's actually a Radio Shack soldering iron. All right, green is positive. It is, in fact, a Radio Shack branded soldering iron that I'm using. You can see the tip, like, the whole tip is just black from char, from just... Just years and years of soldering that this thing has done. The countless miles of wire that I have stuck together, the model trains that I've repaired, the robots I've built, the other projects that I've done. This one soldering iron has carried me through so many of them. And somehow it still keeps going. Like, I don't need these tools right now, I can move them over there. I try to actually keep my workspace really well organized. Like, I try. It doesn't always work. I order these parts, and Bunny puts them in these nice little bags like this, so I can just... Boom. I know I had more wire. One problem I'm having, and I'm realizing this, and maybe I'll change it for next time. I have LED lights in my room, and you can actually see them behind me above that airplane. The problem is they're not over this part of my room. So, like, I'm not getting as much light over here, and I kind of don't like it. Like, it's like I have enough light to see, but I kind of want a little more. So what I might do is next time move this to somewhere else. I might actually... I'm actually seriously debating, like, shutting this stream down for 5 minutes and plugging everything into my computer over there and moving this whole desk, like, over there where I'd have a little bit more room. And I'd have more... I don't know, I wouldn't... Yeah, I would have more light, because I could turn the big light on. Next time. Next time. Which might be tomorrow. I didn't tin that wire, did I? I didn't. This wire's not tinned. I might also, like, depending on how far we get along tonight, I might stream tomorrow working on this as well. Like, if I don't get this done tonight, which we should. It shouldn't take too long to rebuild this whole robot. After all, I do it professionally. Little trick I learned years ago. You're soldering tiny little wires like this. You hold the soldering iron like that, and then as you move it away and start trying to pull your hand away, you just rotate your whole hand. And then you don't jerk your body. Especially since I'm resting one hand on the table. And holding the wire with the other one. Alright. That's our motors wired up. So the wires, the motors, these tiny little motors, now have their wire leads attached. Now I just need to attach them to the Malenki. Put in the helping hands like that. Boom. All right. So the right side is the one closest to here. Now we're gonna do some sketchy shit. If you're just tuning in, I'm currently building a 1 pound. This is a 1 pound plastic ant weight for competition this Saturday. Definitely not rushing to try and hurry up and get this robot done because I still need a test. Which I know most of this stuff still works. But like, you know, you rebuild a robot. And actually, I still need to 3D print one part. So the original top plate, this piece right here. Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that. It's not supposed to be broken like that. And it's broken like that. I do have this one, but this one is really badly warped. So I'm going to have to print another one of these top plates. I do have this one as well that has my little lifter arm, which, you know what, which I have the file to print a new version of this with this little lifter arm, and I could probably use one of these more powerful motors on here. So that might actually be a thing I do. All I got to do, I got to change a couple things on here to make it work, but I put the motor too far forward so the weapon actually hits this. I need to move like this motor back several millimeters to make it work properly. Which I might do that and print a new version of that, like print both of them. All right. So these are the right side. We're going to do green on the top. Green on the top. Problem is I have my soldering iron right underneath my microphone, and I keep bumping my microphone. And like I keep moving the microphone so I don't bump it, and then I still bump it. And that wire's soldered. That wire's tinned. That wire's tinned. One of the problems with soldering is the wires get hot, especially these thin wires. The heat shoots through them really fast. And that definitely started to burn my fingers at the last moment. But both of those motors are now wired in. Now I just need to do the same thing for this side. So I'm going to quickly tin these wires. Well, those wires didn't solder to the motor correctly. And it just popped off. That's a good thing I caught it now. That's a better solder connection there. Look at that. There we go. Now it's like, now I gotta get in here with these and just like ever so slightly touch this to here. Without desoldering or melting or burning those other wires. Here we go. Everything should be soldered. I'm going to go ahead and unplug and remove the soldering iron. Something to always be safe with. Soldering irons are very hot. They can start fires. So whenever you're done using a soldering iron, make sure you unplug it and put it somewhere where you're not going to bump it, drop it, or it's going to set something else on fire. They only take a few minutes to get up to temperature, but they can take several hours to cool back down. And so what I made sure to do is I put mine on my stove to cool down, because it's like, it's on my stove. It's not going to get hot on my stove. Like, if it falls out of its holder, it's going to land on a piece of metal. And it's not going to, like, burn my apartment down because it fell over and landed on a, t-shirt. Which, funny story, that actually happened to me. I was doing some soldering years ago, many years ago. And whoop, that was not good. Doing some soldering many years ago, and as I'm doing my soldering, I get a phone call, and I get up to go answer the phone. I'm talking on the phone, and I smell something burning. Well, what had happened is, as I got up from where I was soldering, I bumped my soldering iron. Like, I got up, turned around, bumped my soldering iron. It fell off of my table and landed in my pile of clean clothes. And ended up burning one of my shirts. I'm debating at the moment. So I have my Radio Master Zorro as my main radio that I use when I'm competing. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? But I also have my Radio Master MT12, this radio here, which I use when I'm driving RC cars. Come on, we'll take care of that real quick. There we go. So I'm debating if I want to try and bind this to the MT12 and try pistol grip. Like try driving a robot pistol grip and see if I actually do better that way. Everybody sells these things. Everybody sells Malenkis. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna bind it to this. And if I'm going to test it, I'm going to take both radios with me, and I'll be able to rebind it. So we're going to hit Create Model. And then we're going to turn this on. Now to wait for that light to start blinking, I think. I've driven RC cars, but I've never driven a robot with pistol grip, so I'm kind of curious to see how it handles. So that's why I want to try binding it to the pistol. I am going to take the Zorro and have it on standby, so I'm going to bind it to like both of them and get it working on both. Like I'll make a profile on the Zorro and on this. Okay, now that's blinking blue, which is telling me it's in bind mode. All right, we're bound. Now I just got to figure out how. So the drive's working. What I'm. See, the problem is I didn't wire this up with a switch, like a physical mechanical disconnect between the motor and the weapon. So there's actually no way to prevent that weapon from spinning at the moment. And that's what I'm worried about. So I'm not going to do any mixing just yet. But we're bound. Everything's turned off. Battery's disconnected. Battery is in LiPo bag. We're safe. Man, I was like, I'm going to keep my workspace clear. And then I brought a bunch of shit up here that I needed. And now it's like, I can't find half the things I need. Like my roll of tape. Ew, 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 ew. It's all sticky. There it is. I think this particular roll of tape just on the outside was just like a layer of stick. What I like doing after I get my radios and everything bound is I make sure I wrap them with tape to protect the connectors and everything. Just in the off chance a wire breaks, piece of metal, even though it's a plastic robot, you know, don't want a screw or something getting in there and making contact with something it shouldn't. Okay, so first thing first, I gotta put the weapon mount back on. This is where I wish I had like a connector on this motor controller, so I could take the motor and motor controller like off and separate them. And I'm just by hand running these. These are what, M3s? Yeah, the M3 screws in. Okay, what do I need next? I need this one. And I need the bearing, and I need that nut. Bearing. And that's a bolt. Never mind. Ignore what I said. I'm dumb. So yeah, I'm getting this rollout ready for an event this weekend at a place called the Syn Shop, SYN, S-H-O-P. You can find them on Twitch. They stream on Mondays and Fridays. And he also streams our robot events. He'll be streaming it on Saturday. Absolutely free to watch. And if you are in the Vegas area, you can come on down to the Syn Shop, SYN, S-H-O-P. And, you know, watch these fights in person. Absolutely free to come down and watch them in person. I'm only saying that because I also posted this in Vegas, one of the local Discords with a bunch of other Vegas people here. And so I'm like, if any one of them is watching, you know. I'm like, I need this particular bit, and I dropped it. And then I dropped a screwdriver. I don't know why my hands don't work anymore. I'm getting old. Might want to replace that motor. I might actually replace that motor because that's wobbling something nasty, but for tonight's testing purposes, it's fine. We'll survive. Alright, I don't need any more screws out of here, so we're going to go ahead and close this up. If you have a box of screws like this, and like seriously, these little M3, this is M3 set, 26, 30 bucks I think it was on Amazon. Buy yourself one of these, get yourself a 3D printer, and you've got 90% of the stuff you need for a robot. And again, this isn't, what I'm about to say is not sponsored, but like Team Malice, Turnabout, Repeat Robotics, they all sell parts. And even Team Malice has like free files. You can just download, like, there's that old internet trope of, or old meme, you know, back in the day, you wouldn't download a car. Well, you can download a robot. This is a robot that I'm building right now is actually a 100% free design you can download from Team Malice's website and build yourself. And go to a competition. Check out robotcombatevents.com. They list events all over. Again, this isn't sponsored. This is just mean like these are companies and products and things that I believe strongly enough in and I'm happy enough with that I will just give them shout outs like that. One of the few problems I have with this particular designed robot is there's no way to actually like secure the motors in. Like the motors are literally, the motors are held in by the top plate. So if you don't have the top plate on, it doesn't work correctly. And then I'm having the first world problem of I have my hot glue gun and I want to put it on its little stand like this, right? It just wants to fall over. And then because the wire is like on the floor, it like wants to slide off the end of the table. And I think this motor shaft is bent because I can see this whole thing wobbling. So what I'm probably going to do is at least get this running and then probably replace this whole motor. I've got a not bent one here. I'll probably replace this motor and see if I can't, like, I don't know, unbend that one. Oh, what the hell? God fucking damn it. I just had a wire break. I thought I had him soldered real well. I guess I didn't. It's a good thing it broke now and not during a fight. Like, where does this red wire, this random red wire go? Oh, it came from this motor. Yeah, because nothing actually holds these motors in if you don't have the top plate on, and I don't have a working top plate for this robot, I'm going to put just a touch of hot glue, just enough to hold the motors in place without the top plate on. And that should at least allow me to test the drive and make sure it's working correctly. I gotta resolder this one wire wherever it went. Here it is. Soldering iron's not hot enough yet. So we wait for the soldering iron to heat up. Of course, I get pinged on Discord while I'm streaming.
Back just to sit and chill for a little bit, enjoy the weather. The weather's really nice today. We hope to see you at tomorrow's show.
And now it's like, wait for the soldering iron, waiting for the soldering iron, waiting for the soldering iron. Alright, should be hot enough. Where the candy go? I need something to hold this. Again, take the soldering iron once I'm done with it and move it somewhere where it is safe and not going to potentially burn me or my apartment down. I've had it happen before too. Like I was working with something. It's back when I used to would work on model trains for people, and was doing some soldering. Set my soldering iron down, did something over here, went to go grab something over here, and put my arm like right onto the soldering iron and burned my arm. And I was just like, ouch. Very unpleasant experience. 10 out of 10, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. No, I'd recommend it to all people I don't like. Hey, I don't like you. Stick your arm on a soldering iron. Yeah. Well, also, like, there was a time I drank paint thinner while working on a model train. That was a fun, like, 10 minutes of trying not to die. Long story well, okay, so I had been sick and I was drinking orange juice, right? Because you're sick, you drink orange juice. And as I'm sitting there drinking my orange juice, I'm painting one of my model trains. And I had my glass of orange juice. Like I had my glass of orange juice right here, and I had my glass, like a cup, a plastic cup of paint thinner. And I'm side by side, more like this kind of setup. And I was brush, 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 dip, 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 brush, 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 dip, 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 brush, 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 dip, 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 brush, 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 set brush down, get drink. And I kept doing that. Well, at one point I like set the brush down and just wasn't paying attention, and I grabbed this cup and went, like I realized I made a mistake when I got the cup up to my lips and I could smell the paint, like the water and the paint thinner and like all the chemicals. And I'm like, huh. And as soon as it like touched, I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. And as soon as it touched my lips, I realized what it was. I was like, but at that point it was like too late. Like I put the things were in motion that I could not unmotion. I ended up like going to the bathroom, vomiting, and then spending like the next 10 minutes just washing my mouth out. It's like rinsing, like I brushed my teeth, rinsed my whole mouth out, like all that. Just like I got to get this taste and flavor and grossness out of my mouth. I just told that story and I looked at my Coke can. I'm like, that's a can of Coke. That is in fact a can of Coke. I would like to take a drink of it. It is in fact a can of Coke. I can take a drink of it. It's an empty can of Coke. It's a can of Coke. Yeah, sweet. Yeah. I get that reference. I get that reference. What you don't see is I'm holding this piece in and I'm attaching it with some hot glue. And I just squirted hot glue all over that piece. Big deal, right? Except for a lot of that hot glue just went onto my hand, onto my finger. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. I guess that's why they call it hot glue. What's funny is this is like low temp hot glue, so it just stings. It's not super hot. It doesn't burn. It just stings. The high temp stuff that I use at work, oh boy, you get that on you, you feel it. You feel it when you put your hand in the wrong spot with that one. I'm trying to put this on something too so the wheels aren't touching the ground while I'm working on it. It's like everything I have to set it on is not adequate support. Oh, cool! That piece that I just glued in, like the glue didn't actually like take. I love hot glue because it's like quick, easy, attaches, but it's just always so stringy. And I don't have like, if I had like a little blowtorch, it would just go and just burn it all away. I keep reading that. I keep rereading your comment, like Parker, and I just want to change it to like sweet Philadelphia cheesesteak. this right here. Now comes the tricky part. This is the part I hate, is wire management. It's like I gotta put all these wires in this robot. There's not enough room for them all. What's funny is I realize I have more of these ESCs for the weapon motor, but they're smaller. They're smaller. They're the same amperage. I think this is a 20 amp ESC. No, this is a 30 amp. Okay. I have some 20 amps, which would probably work as well. It's not as, they would work, but probably not as well as this one is meant to work. The tricky part is I need to get this in here without... Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, Clueless Puppy Vibes, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. We're working on a plastic ant weight for a robot event coming up. I'm trying to... It's hard to see because I'm trying to focus on getting this robot ready and not necessarily like documenting it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tuck all of these wires into the frame. And I normally have a whole bunch of little overlay stuff that pops up, and it's not working because this isn't my normal live streaming computer. And I'm learning why I need to figure out... There's a way to do it where I can feed these camera views to my actual main computer that would have all the proper overlays. But yeah, feel free to like say hi, ask questions. I'm very carefully, it's weird. These are very delicate wires. We gotta be very careful. Don't want to break a wire on this robot that's going to be subjected to hundreds of G's of force when it hits something. Like, seriously, the amount of energy that this robot has to endure is mind-boggling. It's like, I gotta put all these in, and then I still have to put the battery in. Like, there's a battery that goes in here. I know I made them fit once before, I just don't remember how I made them all fit. Tell you, it wasn't like this because I didn't have the motor. The receiver is right here. The motor controller is right here. I think I got enough room that I can stick the battery right here on top of that motor controller. Not really. What if I put the motor controller right here? The problem is too is like there's nothing like securing all these wires in place. So once I have everything in here, it's just kind of sitting there. And I can, you know, fiddle around with things and move things around as need be. One would be inclined to sit there and say, oh, just once you put all the wires in there, just fill it all up with hot glue, and then it won't move. And then it's like, yes, but then if I have to fix a broken wire, I now have to chisel it out of hot glue. All right, I think that's going to work. I think that'll work. Not happy with that, or that. But for this next test, it'll work. Battery's connected. Before I do anything else, we need our weapon safety. Which for this robot is a big clamp. And I'm going to turn it slightly.
Welcome to HTX.
I hit the wrong button.
Welcome to HTX.
Warning, failsafe. Press any key. Hits the power button. Well, one of my motors is going backwards. I appear to have attached the wires backwards. But it steers just fine. Let's go ahead and get the configuration for the... There, weapon spins. And I'm gonna put that on I'm gonna get that set up on a switch. Let's just see, like, I know it's not gonna drive correctly because one of the motors is spinning backwards. This motor is spinning the wrong way. It moves! Alright, let's just... I gotta... it lives. I gotta change that one motor.
Telemetry lost.
With the one motor spinning backwards, though, it was still driving really well. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this one motor. I'm going to get the 3D printer going on the new top plate. I'm going to attach the forks, and I'm going to call it a night. And then I think tomorrow I will start, or maybe even after, probably tomorrow, we'll start the brushless version. I want to get the brush. I want to see about getting the brushless version running. So that'll be a thing. And then I'll probably also, I might also swap this motor. I have two more motors for the weapon. So I'll probably swap this one because I don't like how wobbly that is. I got a little video of it driving around. That's going on. That's one for the gram. You know what sucks? I gave this robot a really unique name that I forgot how to spell. Yes, I'm making an Instagram post right now live. You can just can watch it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm excited. That's gonna go up. Yeah, the brush. So I gotta pop. I need this on the tape. Gotta pop this one out. The question is, which one did I wire up backwards?
Welcome to HTX.
While we find that out, let's turn this on. This one is wired backwards. That was bad. I'm going to put a safety switch on that.
Telemetry lost.
I had to figure out which one I had wired in backwards. And the only way to do that was to turn the robot on and drive it. And it turns out it's this back one. This one here is spinning. This one's spinning forward. We can even test this. If I spin this motor, I can see this one turning the correct direction. And I turn this one the direction I want to go, and that one's turning the opposite direction. So this one's definitely wired backwards. And I put all this hot glue on to hold it in place. Now I'm going to scrape this all out. Luckily, it's not like a metric fuck ton, but that just ripped. Sorry, I'm tired and I'm frustrated and I'm grumpy, and this is supposed to stay in. And this switch, these Fingertech switches, they're fantastic. My one complaint is there's absolutely no way to attach them to a robot. And if anyone from Fingertech can tell me how to attach it to my robot in such a way that it's not going to fall off, I will gladly do it. And I know someone's going to say, well, doesn't it have holes for screws? Yes, except if you put screws through there and the screws just disintegrate. They cease to exist. I've done screws, I've done glue, I've done two-part epoxy, I've, welded them in, and it's still like, ugh. That's weird, because I thought I did. Yep, I got the wiring backwards. All right. I need a soda. Myself at A&W root beer. Now let the soldering iron heat up. I'm only going to run forks this weekend. I think there's a couple horizontals that I might have to fight, but I'm going to run the fork configuration all weekend. I have the plow. I might test with the plow and see if it works. I was having problems with it in that it was causing my robot to get high centered. I got stretchies. Oh, ooh, ow! actually pinched something like as I was stretching. No more shrimping. I actually don't shrimp. I don't shrimp. I'm sitting mostly upright. Like my work like okay. So this table I'm on is actually fairly tall. Like I'm 6'4", and it comes up to, you know, like let's see. Can I do it? Can I do it? Yeah. Like that's my pocket right there, right? It comes up to about my pocket. And I'm sitting on bar stools. So this is actually like when I'm sitting here, like my elbows are on the table and I have to like lean back to put my elbows up. Like it's pretty tall. It's actually comfortable. Like it's a comfortable, good height. I just don't stretch as often as I should. So I'm going to run these forks, these articulated forks. I do have a different top plate, and I might go and redesign the top plate after this stream that has a lifting arm. So I might actually put that back on, but if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to be able to use my pistol grip radio, which is what I kind of want to practice using. I do have these wedges that can go on the front if I'm fighting a horizontal. We'll see how this robot's driving on the floor when I get to the venue. The floor is not a super smooth floor. It's actually so when you're doing combat robotics, a lot of the arenas that people build, they'll do either a wood floor, which is bumpy and textured, or they'll do a steel floor, which is smooth. Jeff has specifically taken the arena that he's fighting in, and he's put down a material called Positrack. It is something very similar to what they paint aircraft carrier decks and the top of like tank turrets with. It's a textured, grippy paint. It's got a grit to it. It almost feels like sandpaper when you run your hand across it. And he's painted the arena floor with that. So we'll see how that handles. How the robot handles on that. Woo! I just touched the soldering iron to my finger. It was not pleasant. Luckily, it didn't. It was like just the right amount of touch where it didn't burn. I am shrimping right now, but that's only because I'm trying to like see my soldering iron. Nope, I still wired that in backwards. What the hell? Nice thing about using thin gauge wires, it's really easy to just quickly like... There we go. Now we should drive forward.
Welcome to HTX.
Like, where'd I put my battery? Back in the battery bag. Where'd they go? I'm stupid sometimes. It's been a long week. It's been a really long week. We're running, and they're all turning the right direction now.
Telemetry lost.
Oh, that's one more thing I want to do. That's one thing I need to do real quick.
Telemetry recovered. Receiver still connected.
It fail-safes! Well, real quickly, one more fail-safe I gotta do. Yay!
Welcome to HTX.
Woo! Alright, we need now I can robot failsafes as well, which is something you have to do when you're building a combat robot. Is it has to be able to fail safe. So let's say I'm driving, I'm having a good old time, and lightning strikes me, and I just get vaporized, or my radio blows up, or whatever. For whatever reason, my radio shuts off. The robot should, once it stops receiving signal from the radio, go into a safe state, which is no drive and no weapon. I have successfully fail-safed my robot. I will still need to go through safety at the event and prove, show to the safety people, hey, my robot fail-safes. Like, I can't just show them this live stream and be like, hey, Jeff, it fail-safed at home. Can't do that. That's not how that works. What I do need to do now is replug in my hot glue gun. I thought I was done with it. My hot glue gun. All right. Let that heat up for a second. While that's doing that, I can go ahead and make some changes on here. Oh, I'm like, I hear something. It's like, oh, I have music still playing on here. I didn't realize that, and that stuff I was having picked up. All right, so I've set it up where I've got a button. I've got a button right here. You can't really see it, but there's a button right here. Yeah, there it is. That button right there. As long as I'm holding that button down, the weapon will be active. This knob here throttles the weapon up and down, so I can put it at 50%, press the button, weapon kicks on. I'm doing some other configurations while I wait for the hot glue gun to heat up.
Welcome to HTX.
Like, there should be a warning, like, it pops up if I have that knob not in the right position. Can't find it. But what I can do, so this is something I find is really silly with this radio, right? I love these MT12s. You can press system, and then right here,
X-Light breakout.
I've got. Well, you can't really see it on there, can you? Yeah, you can't. But like, I can legitimately say I've got games on my radio, which I've actually used. Like, it's a little breakout game, and you use the wheel back and forth to like move the paddle to bounce the ball to break the bricks, right? Well, when I take my RC car to the racetrack, I will sit there when I'm not driving the car, and I will play that because it's just warm up basically. It's just warm up for driving. Get my fingers in the groove to drive. But yeah, and again, like I said a few times now, I'm getting this robot ready for an event this weekend. If you're in chat and you want to, you got questions, you want to ask me questions about this robot, like, go right ahead. I am all for it. Like, I try to interact with chat as much as I can while working on stuff and playing games and stuff like that. Right now I am, like, focused on getting robot ready here. Battery will sit right here. The top plate will hold all of this down. I'll probably put a zip tie around all of this. One of those things where it's like I gotta like tuck all these wires in before each fight. Some of them will stay tucked in because they're like under other things, but there we go. Yep, the safety button works, so you can turn the knob up and nothing happens. Right, hold the button down. I might change that to a switch, just so I can have like this switch right here, my pinky switch. I'm putting a pretty extreme curve on it because it's like just touching the wheel. That's better. That's weird. It's saying telemetry lost, but it's like I'm right here.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
got stuck on a piece of hot glue. It actually feels like it's a lot like more responsive turning wise like this. I don't want to hit the brushless or the brushless version of that frame. But yeah, we're up and running now. And I am using pistol grip for this, which is it's interesting. I've never driven a robot using pistol grip, so although I feel like my steering is not quite sound, so I'm gonna put it on the floor and drive around my living room for a minute. Yeah, I'm like, this guy on the floor just trying to... It feels like it's pulling to one side, and I'm just wondering if that's because some of these tires aren't quite attached to the rims, which I gotta fix that next. Or if it's something else, but... I got my robot back up and running. Yay! And I don't know if I like that button, like, because it's a button I gotta hold. But it also means it's like, I'm gonna be holding. It's right there on the thumb. Oh, that's weird. I'll probably only ever run it. That's like 50% power. All right. I still gotta. I want to replace that motor. I gotta start the prints on the top plate. I want to replace the weapon motor because the weapon motor is a little. This one's bent, so you can't really see it on here. But the whole frame is actually doing this because this weapon motor is bent. So replace that weapon motor. I might even just for shits and giggles put a whole freaking new weapon on. Although this one has still got teeth. It's got some bite to it, so I'll probably just leave that one on. Or actually, no. I'm debating. If I put a new one on, I'll probably... Oh, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll probably leave the old one on for testing and getting through safety, like the blade. And then after I get through safety, I'll swap to a new blade, since I have 3 unused blades. It's a double elimination tournament, so really, I only need 2. And what I'll probably do is run 1, and then when this one's too dull, I'll just switch to this one. Or maybe I'll just burn through these ones first. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I've got plenty of them. I'm not going to print any more weapons. I'm not going to print any more forks, because I've got plenty of forks. I've got side panels. I only have the one frame. I do have this frame here, but this is specifically the brushless frame. And that one I'll probably work on putting together tomorrow. Trying to think what else I need to do. I need to print the top plate. And I'm debating if I want to modify, because I have this version of the top plate, right? And this top version of the top plate sits right here like this. It sits on here like so. And it gives me this little lifting arm. I would take this fork off, but then I have this lifting arm. And if I get flipped upside down, I can use this arm to pick myself back up. My only problem is I can only use this arm if I use this radio. So it's kind of a, you know, do I do the silly arm? Which I did replace this motor anyways, because that motor works, but it's not very strong. I can replace it with one of these motors, which is stronger. Real quick, let's do a weigh-in. We got our scale. We're going to put a roll of tape on, and we're going to zero it. We're at 370 grams. That's with the battery. If I put this top plate on, it puts us at 418 grams. And we are 50 or 40 some odd grams underweight. We are 40 grams underweight, about 40 grams underweight. And that's with this top plate, which is heavier, and that's with an extra fork too. So I'm actually well within weight limits. This robot's actually underweight. I could actually put like stuff on this. I can't put magnets on it. I would love to put magnets on it, but here's the problem. I can feel this piece of TPU here is spinning independent of the rest of the wheel. And I wonder if that's causing any traction issues and like steering issues. Even though it's not got a battery in it, we're gonna keep it wheels up. But I'm gonna pull my hot glue gun. I'm gonna call it a night there. I need to finish doing some laundry, and I need to take a shower. And debate on swapping out this motor. I will catch you guys all possibly tomorrow. If I don't stream tomorrow, check out the SynShop, SYNSHOP. They're another Twitch channel. Let's see, can I do? Oh, I can't do shout out here because I'm technically not logged into Twitch on this computer. But check them out on Saturday, and you can catch me actually like fighting robot. And hopefully you see this robot maybe win a fight. So far, it's only. It's done one fight, and it lost that fight, and it lost it badly. Yeah, Clueless Puppy, thanks for popping in. I try to stream Tuesdays and sometimes Sundays, like Sunday evenings. I haven't streamed the last couple of days because I've just been really busy with work and everything. But I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to maintain that Tuesday night schedule. And then if I don't work on Thursday nights, I also stream on Thursday. Well, no, not Thursday nights. Yeah, Tuesdays and Saturdays, or Tuesdays and Sundays are going to be my stream days moving forward. Sundays will either be... Tuesdays are normally like me gaming, and Sundays will probably be me like working in my garage or something. So, I'm Kaz, and I will catch you guys all in the next one as soon as I can find my mouse and hit end stream.